I've already found some stuff that we can use to rip the audio out of the recordings that we're making now. But yeah, I should have a better option next time. But for now, we'll probably have to go with the
Cool.
Twitch plays and ripping the audio from there.
Sounds good.
All
Adam's
right.
already yawning. Either that or he just got off.
No, I'm right here. All right, so you guys ready to go? Oh wait, hold on.
Oh, they're telling me I look too normal today. I'm ready for the games, guys. So what do you expect? I'm not
All
gonna.
Okay, so you guys ready now?
All
Yes,
set.
sir.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, this is Ellohime at Twitch TV. I'm here with a couple of my friends. This is our very first podcast. One of my friends, both these guys are great streamers. We've got
Thanks, you know.
Odin. Go ahead and say hello.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday. Adam talked me into this, even though I did test his manhood a little bit on the fact that we're doing this on Sunday morning. But he assured me that I would be out of here in time to make it for the day's gaming. Not I'm a big NFL guy, so Sundays are kind of sacred to me in a different way. I have my own chapel, so. But I've run MMO Den now. Coming October will be our 3-year anniversary for the website, and I started streaming. Actually, 2 weeks will be 1 year for me streaming. So pretty fun stuff. I absolutely love it. I love the interaction with the players and stuff like that. It's just a blast.
Just to be clear, I made no such promises to this man that he would get into to his game on time.
Starting off with
If I
lies.
keep there in an hour and 10 minutes,
Yeah.
I will officially beat you up.
Okay, well, listen, let's move on to the less violent, more friendly Carnage, who's been streamed for several months now. He's very interactive as well, very like-minded to myself. Go ahead and say hello, Co.
Hey everybody, I'm Carnage, and it's a pleasure to meet you guys.
So what we're going to talk about today is a lot of people, I know myself and I've talked to these other guys, a lot of people have asked us, how do we get started streaming? How do we, what do we need to do? What was it like for you guys starting out? And so we wanted to take that and make that our first topic of conversation today. So if anybody out there is interested in starting their own stream, you guys may get a little bit of insight today on how to do that. There is no miracle. It's not like you follow these directions and you will be successful. A lot of it has to do with luck, but we're going to talk about our history a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and we'll go into just some random tips. And it's just going to be kind of, like I said, a fluid conversation a little bit earlier. But anyways, I think we should start probably with let's start with you, Odin. Let's start with you, Limpy. Some people like to call you.
So how I got started?
Yeah, just give us a little background how you got started and how things were for you and everything when you first got on Twitch.
Honestly, it was pretty much one of those things where I've gamed for a very long time, and then watching gamers, found out about Twitch late summer 2012. And then Guild Wars 2 came out, was playing that a little bit, and then was watching some guys stream it to kind of get an idea of some different strategies, stuff like that. And then Mists of Pandaria came out, and started watching some people doing quests and things like that. I see, what? Why don't I do this? I got a YouTube channel, I've got a bunch of followers, stuff like that. So I just kind of, I think it's just like everybody, right? You just kind of throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. You kind of just say, fuck it, I'm going to give it a shot. And so that's pretty much how my streaming career kind of got started about a year ago.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, the whole throwing the shit against the wall and seeing what sticks that's pretty much kind of it's kind of that's why there's no recipe for this, because sometimes it can be kind of random, but there are strategies and stuff. But I totally understand what you're saying. So, Co, give us a little bit of history on your side.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Also, if you guys don't mind, a pretty big chunk of my audience is PG-16, so just in case, if it's not too big of a deal, if we could just do our best, not a big deal, but whatever.
Absolutely.
But for me, I actually started streaming April 4th of this year. I started in a game called Defiance. I'd streamed for like a week or two prior for my guild. I run a guild called Carnage, and there were some guys that were interested in Star Wars, so I streamed like a week without a camera or a mic. I did some Guild Wars 2 leading. I was one of the first comms on Stormbluff Isle, if any of you guys remember that back when it was released. Did a little bit of streaming, but got heavy stream sniping, so I actually ducked out of that for a bit. but I really started full time with Defiance, and it was really interesting because when I started, you know, I'm in the rare position where when I started, I already had like a very tiny base because I was a guild leader. Now, when I say tiny, I mean tiny. I mean single digits. You know, like 9 to 20 people was my max for the first week. But even those little bit of numbers, really helped. And over the course of the Defiance, it really became clear to me. I started seeing the potential. You know, when my numbers started going from 12 to 20 to 50 over the first few weeks, I really started kind of getting it. And then when Neverwinter came out and we made the switch, and I was like, oh, wait a second, you know, look at all these other guys that I've never heard of, and now they're getting all these viewers, and you know, like, wait, what's going on here? And then I started doing it, and all of a sudden I started getting, you know, hundreds of viewers, and that's really when I kind of started changing my life around to kind of compensating for streaming. And that's really where it all went from there. That's how I got started. The community that built around the channel had just been incredible at that point, and it's only been, you know, going more and more. And yeah, but it all started for Defiance for me, and moving into the other games was a really good time, really fun game.
Yeah, I started with the MMO as well. I mean, when I first started, I just graduated college. I had like $200 pretty much to my name, and Cora, my girlfriend, I was like, listen, I've got this last $200. I think I'm gonna buy a founder's pack for this new MMO Neverwinter that's coming out. And she looked at me like, are you crazy? You're gonna spend your last $200 on a video game? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And I don't think she was too happy about it at the time, but I bought it and I started playing, and I got early access. It was like a 5-day early access, and I guess I hit level 60 about 2 or 3 days in. So I had a nice level 60 character. And my buddy was, he was streaming at the time, and he was in my group that I had met, and I had no intentions of coming into this and being successful, or, you know, growing a stream, or, you know, doing this full time or anything like that. But I thought it might be fun, and I thought I might have a lot of content and a lot of information to give to people who weren't necessarily in the game yet. So I started streaming, and the first day I got on, I had like 400 people in my stream, because a lot of people wanted to see the game, and I was kind of early in the morning. I had a lot of European people in, and I thought that was normal. Like, I thought having 400 people was like a normal thing. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm streaming, I got 400 people, cool. I didn't have a camera up, I didn't have any of that stuff, and you know, some people encouraged me after a few days to try to get partnered. I got partnered in a week. We were subbed in a month, you know, and you know, I just tried to...
Wait, real quick.
Yeah,
you got partner in your first week of streaming?
Yes, correct.
Whoa.
Let's not rub it in.
Well, I didn't even have a camera at that point, but somebody was nice enough to donate a little bit of money, so I went and got a camera, and we set up the camera, and I sat down and had a conversation with Cora and just said, hey, I got a lot of people in here. After I realized it wasn't normal to have 400 people, I got a lot of people in here that really want to see this game. I don't know if this is going to last, but I want to pursue this. And she was like, do it, got your back. You know, she supported me, and so I just kind of took off, you know, running. But anyways, but since that point, one of the biggest questions I get asked is, you know, how do I start? How do I get going? How do I, you know, what do I do? And I would say, I want to say this right off the bat, and I think that the other gentleman here on this podcast can attest to this. I think that getting over the first hump of viewers, which, you know, thank God I was lucky enough I didn't have to deal with that. Getting over that first hump is difficult, and by that I want to specifically say that it is, what I'm talking about is your early viewership, getting over having only 1 or 2 people in there, and actually getting exposure and having people see what you do and what your content is. Would you guys agree that's probably the hardest thing starting out? You know, starting out new is just getting past that first barrier of low viewership.
By far, I would say you're absolutely right, and I think that honestly, when it comes down to it, that's probably the most specific question that I get asked about that. Yeah,
is how you get past that.
How to get the ball rolling. Yep.
Yeah, I definitely agree 100%. It's always about like, dude, I can get 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in my stream. How do I get to where I have regular viewers? And the biggest or the number one answer that I give to that is pretty much be consistent. And the fact that consistency will breed viewers, and it's probably one of the reasons that you guys, I have a 6-month start on you guys, and Adam is obviously blown up, and Co, you're almost double the number of followers I am. Is I've actually taken and probably hurt myself by playing too many games over the course of the last year. And so if I were to give any kind of the hard knocks, or the school of hard knocks piece that I learned, was that actually bouncing between game to 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 game will actually hurt you if you're trying to grow a follower base. Now, look, hey, if that's what you want to do every day, I'm not going to stop you from doing that. I'm just going to tell you that you're going to stunt your growth of your Twitch channel by doing that. And I learned that the hard way. That's why if you look at my follower count, you look at Carnage's follower count, mine's half of his. You look at my follower count, you look at Adam's follower count, mine's a fifth of his follower count. And it really comes down to, I mean, even though I consistently stream every single day, 9 o'clock, bam, Pacific time. I mean, I'm a little bit later than you guys because you guys are Eastern. But at the same time, even though I have that consistency, I don't have the consistency in the game. So I'll have people that'll come in and they'll be like, dude, yesterday you were playing this. When are you going to play that again? And because I was bouncing from so many games, my answer to them was, I just don't know.
Yeah.
And so that's the biggest thing that I'm actually looking to change in going forward.
Well, and it's on the consistency note, it's also putting aside enough time too, being consistent with your times and then putting enough time into it. Guys, there's no joke about this. This is a full-time job. If you want to do this successfully, you have to put the time in. And I have a lot of people, they say, well, I'm not getting a lot of people. And I say, well, how long do you stream? Oh, for 2 hours. And I say, well, what do you stream during that 2 hours? Oh, well, I just kind of jump between things. It's like, I'm sorry, it's just never going to happen if you do that. I mean, I'm not going to say never. It might work out for you, but it's very unlikely because people want to see one specific game. You're going to get different crowds for different types of games, different genres, different, like I'm playing Hearthstone right now. I didn't start as a, CCG player, but I am, and I have been for this last, 3 weeks or so, and I have a certain crowd that shows up to see this, and a lot of people used to watch me for my MMO play are no longer around. And the thing is if you're going to stream, consistency, it's probably a really good point. Not only is it just being consistent with the games, but being consistent with your hours and having enough time in the day for people to come in and watch. If you're going to jump on for 2 hours and switch your games up, it's not going to work. You're going to have to take at least 4 hours a day, at least, and I would really suggest something closer to 8. But definitely the consistency is huge, and I would add something else to that too. Not just the consistency of it, but also what was I going to say? I actually lost my thought there. Sorry for your PG-16, but damn it, that's my thought. Co, what do you got to say about
everything but the F, man, is good to go.
Co, what do you got to say?
Sacrifices. But no, it's really interesting you guys say that because I couldn't agree more that having, consistency is extremely important. In fact, I made a very big mistake, very similar to what MMO Den just said. When I did Defiance, it was up and up and up. I had about 150 when I stopped Defiance. I jumped into Neverwinter, up and up and up. For my last 3 days of Neverwinter, it was like 300, 350, 400. It was fantastic. I then took a week-long vacation, which of course you have to do. That's fine. And when I got back, in that time, Neverwinter kind of died, and that was when a lot of the big issues happened. There was a lot of the exploits in the game that came up.
The rollback.
Really, the rollback. That was the big one. The rollback happened the day before I left. Talk about bad timing. Yeah. So when I get back, my numbers were in half at best. And I rode Neverwinter out pretty much just PvPing for weeks. But then this is when I basically went right to what MMO Den said. This is when I had my problem. Because what I thought at that point I could just play whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and that, the viewers would flock to me and everything will be fine, right? Absolutely not. I played for about a month and a half of whatever I wanted. I played through, System Shock 2 a little bit, Deus Ex 1, a bunch of games that literally I was the only person streaming it on Twitch, but I just didn't have the base to support it. And there was a period of time when I was considering almost stopping streaming because it got to the point where, like, when I was doing my Deus Ex 1 playthrough, I think for like a 6-hour period I capped out at 26 viewers. And this was after, the 300, 350, 400. And I was just kind of like, man, this is ridiculous. So I had to reaccount what I was doing. And this actually pulls me to my next point. you can do other games. You can play lots of games at once, but you have to have structure. You have to structure your stream. So what I did was I started, I said, okay, I need to do something about this. So I started doing schedule weeks. So what I did was every day had a purpose. Token Tuesdays, Undead's Days, Friday Smite Fight, Sit Down Saturdays. Even though I was playing all sorts of other games, there was a meta structure that kept it so that people knew what to expect, even if they knew to expect games that I didn't play often. And when I started doing those structure or those schedule weeks, I slowly watched my viewers crawl back up, and every single day I had more viewers come back, more viewers. And I was playing all over the board. I played Binding of Isaac, I played Rogue Legacy, we were doing Left 4 Dead, Chivalry. I mean, literally, I was playing 15 to 30 different games. In fact, if you're in my chat and you do ! Have you played, there's a list of some 60 games. Every single one of those I've played on stream in the last 5 months. But there's no question that I would not have been able to keep that going unless I had built that structure around it. And I actually took it a step further because, like MMO Den said, even with that kind of structure, you still need a bit more consistency. So I added in theme weeks. So then I did a couple theme weeks. We did Fallout 3 with special viewer-submitted stuff for a week. I did Shock Week, where I played through all the Bioshocks in 4 days on the hardest difficulties. And each decision was viewer-suggested stuff. So it does, like MMO had said, it's really important that you know what you have structure somewhere. Or, like I went through, people will just find other places. They'll find other channels to watch. You have to give them a reason to not only be there that day, but a reason to expect something in the future. And that can come with being on every day. That can come with having a schedule. That can become with having structure. You're going to find your own flavor if you spend enough time with it. It took me a while to get to the point where I was. And like I said, I almost just said, screw the whole thing. So, yeah, that's kind of my opinion on that stuff.
Well,
I think
go ahead.
I think another thing that that probably one of the things that I get complimented on a lot. A lot of the people in my chat talk about the two of you guys a lot. I think one of the reasons that I enjoy watching the two of you as well is, and I'm going to toot all of our horns a little bit, I think the three of us do a very, very good job of chat interaction and interacting directly with. And it makes it really easy it's a lot easier when you play slower games. Now, I know, Co, for you, sometimes you get into some of those harder runs and stuff like that, and your community is really good about understanding that you're dealing with a hard boss mode at that point in time and that you're not going to have the interaction. But
we actually have an emote coming for that. I'm doing it so much these days. Focus mode.
Yeah, focus mode. Exactly. I get into it too. There's times when you just have to focus on something. And I agree with you 100%. For example, I have MOBA Monday where, I'll play Smite or I'll play League of Legends and I'll play with my viewers. Every single Monday I do MOBA Monday. And it's just what we do. I invite anybody who wants to come and join me on Mondays for, League of Legends, Smite, whatever, whatnot. I agree with you 100%. Those theme days, they're solid, they work. But it comes down to one simple thing, like we said, consistency, and that consistency gives your end viewers. It's just like, why do we have our DVRs set to certain shows to record at certain times, every single week, whether it's, Breaking Bad or, Attack of the Show or whatever.
Better be
It's
Breaking
because
Bad.
that's consistent. And that's really one of the things that I want to express to all of our viewers is take a moment and kind of think. There's been millions and millions, even billions of dollars spent in the TV and movie and entertainment industry by these large companies with focus groups and all these different things. And when you look at that and you take, okay, I want to stream, what are the things that I need to do? Well, take a look at the companies that are already successful at this, whether it be, TV, whatever, or the successful streamers, what are they doing? And that's pretty much where you're going to find that there's already a game plan ready for you if you want to start streaming. If you want to start streaming and you want to make this a true, serious business. And when I say business, this is a business. You don't think that you're just going to stream and that's going to be the end of it. You're going to start dealing with, tens, 50s, hundreds of private messages through Twitch every day. If you set yourself up a Steam community, you're going to be having people contact you through Steam regularly. You're gonna have all this stuff going on. I know a couple weeks ago, and Elo, you can talk a little bit more about this. You were streaming so much. You told me, you're like, dude, I need like a day because I'm so far behind on getting back to people, and I've got all this other stuff to do. And that's one thing that I want to put out there for people. I don't want to scare you guys away from streaming, but as you get larger and larger in the stream community, it exponentially grows all these other responsibilities that you have.
Yeah, and it's like being mayor of a town. I want to be clear. We're talking about people who want to do this for a living, that want to, that look at us and say, oh, we really like what they have. Why can't I have that? Is, kind of what we're getting onto. Not just somebody who wants to pick it up as a hobby. We're talking about, if you're going to get serious about it. But yeah, I would say I don't think I realized how much work. I thought I'll stream and that'll be it. And I'll, get off at the end of the day and that'll be fine. But I would say that the work, the 8 hours of streaming that I do a day usually is so easy because it's so fun. It's so great. And I would say that it's like probably about 50% of what I actually do, because off the stream, I check my PMs. I try to reply to everybody. You've got to set up your, your multimedia stuff. That includes YouTube, Twitter. You got to check those things, keep up with them, Facebook. Steam, you usually get a Steam group. You have people messaging you through Steam. Everybody wants a bit of your time. It's like being the mayor of a town. And as the town grows, you start to realize that it's a little too big for what you do. And that's why a lot of you, if you message big streamers, I message big streamers sometimes, and they don't ever get back to me. It's because they're so overwhelmed with how much feedback and how many letters and everything that they get, that it gets to a place where it's not impossible, but it is very, 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 very tiring if you don't have help. And yeah, and here's was going to be my point earlier. This is what I want to tell people, especially when they're starting out new stream. My thing. Stream something new. Stream something new that is interesting. Okay? Get your hands on an early access beta key if you can. Get your hands on the pre-order that lets you get in early. Make sure you can stream it so you don't break any laws. But streaming something new allows you the unique opportunity of being able to play a game that nobody's already concrete and established in. So like if you want to pick up and start playing, let's say League of Legends, that has the most viewer count, okay, you start playing League of Legends, there's already established streamers for League of Legends over years, but if you pick up a new game, you start playing, especially before or maybe at the same time as somebody else does, you're going to get a lot more. You're going to have a higher chance of people coming into your stream because they haven't seen you before. They don't know who the streamers are, like Hearthstone, for instance. I mean, I'm not a huge streamer. I consider myself a growing streamer, and I do well. But when I jumped into Hearthstone, I'm dealing with the likes of Kriparian. I'm dealing with the likes of, Trump, Chaos, Wreckful, stuff like that. But the thing is that I stream in the morning Eastern time, and there are multiple reasons for that. But there's no coincidence. My most important reason is that I get to hang out with everybody all around the world. Really, is what it comes down to. I really like the European crowd, Aussies, everybody all around the world. That's great. But there's no coincidence that I'm starting streaming right when Crips stops, okay? And there's a reason for that, because I want to schedule myself around the other streamers, and I want to stream something that's new, and that gets people. And I think streaming something that is new, that people are interested in, is going to be your best shot at getting over that first hump that we were talking about. Do you guys agree?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I think positioning yourself is possibly just as important as the other stuff when you're starting out. If you're just starting out and you're serious about your schedule, and you're playing a game that you're the only person streaming it, you're not going to have the turnover of people coming to check you out. Where like Ellohime started at just about the perfect time in Neverwinter. It was a very, there was a large barrier in place for most people. I mean, $200 is a lot of money for most people to spend on an MMO. So the fact that he did that at the beginning gave him days. I mean, I didn't even start playing Neverwinter until 2 days after it came out. Ellohime had been streaming it for a week at that point, and I was late to the party, and I felt late to the party the whole time. So if you get specific permissions, if you get beta keys of things you can actually stream, that just getting one of those in your hands is almost an opportunity to start streaming if you had been thinking about it at that point. Because just like I said before, positioning is 50% of that battle of getting your first numbers, of getting your first audience, is getting yourself positioned in the right place to have your attractive product, which is what most streamers that really interact with their chat are going to have in place.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Elo, you hit on a very good point right there. If you guys even if you find a game that you really like, watch some of the top streamers, and if you can position yourself, he's making a very good point, and I want to just kind of expand on it, kind of give you guys a little game plan here. If you could, like, for example, Ellohime doesn't have an exact schedule of when he ends, but if he did, whenever I played Hearthstone, I would make sure that I'm streaming when he's going to stop. Knowing that he's got, this huge base of Hearthstone people, and I want to grow my Hearthstone people, if I knew that at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern, he was going to stop streaming Hearthstone, I would 100% not miss that window. Because I would know that as soon as he stops streaming, there's going to be anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 or 6,000, maybe even more, people just dying to watch somebody play Hearthstone, because they've been an audience just waiting to watch Hearthstone. And it's something that television uses as well. They'll put a comedy show, and what do? They follow it up with another comedy show, because it's like it's this stream right into, and sometimes other channels will do it to capture that audience. So it's the same thing in Twitch. If you have a game you want to play, let's say you want to play Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn. Well, watch Co, and when he's done streaming, start your stream or be streaming, and make sure you have overlap. So when he's done and there's that captive audience that wants to watch that, they're right there ready, and they're just chomping at the bit. Okay, who am I going to go watch now? Now you may not capture all of them, but even if you were starting and you captured a few of them, then all of a sudden, it just starts to grow. And then tomorrow, when you're on right when Co ends, you maybe capture a few more. And then if you're consistent, you use your personality to your advantage, you're taking and you're interacting with chat, you will slowly just watch step by step your channel grow up and to the right constantly.
And this goes, okay, so this kind of segues. We've talked about some strategies to get people into your stream. Okay, so how do you keep people in your stream? What's the trick to your retention? I always look at, I just hit 1 million views the other day, and that's great. That means 1 million people have come in and they've seen my content, okay? And I have about 25K follows, okay? That means out of 1 million people that have come in, that means 25K have said, hey, I really like this guy enough to hit the follow button and come back. So how do we increase that? Like, once we got people there, how do we, retention, exactly. And I would say I would give you three ways that you're going to keep people there. And this, I think every streamer kind of falls, well, I'll give you 4. Every streamer falls into these categories. And the first category, I believe, is interaction. That's a lot what we do. Odin, Co, people like Tally, myself, we're very big on interaction. And in a lot of respects, at least it's true for me, I have to be big on it. Now, I love it and do it anyways, but for people to stick around in here and just watch me play, I am not nearly good enough for that. I'm sorry. I'm just not, which brings me to my next point. Be a pro player. If you're a pro player, if you are absolutely a pro, like you go to competitions and stuff like that, you're somebody who is so good and so talented that people just want to watch you because you're just that good, then you can stream successfully with that as well. You can keep people around if you're just so good at what you do. It's
or
no
if you get
problem.
a major accomplishment. Yep.
Oh yeah, or a major accomplishment or something like that. Yeah, like beating something in the hardest mode or something like that. The third one I would say is going to be informational. Okay, a lot of people Crip. He's a great player. Crip is a great player, but what makes Crip, at least in my opinion, you guys might disagree, what makes Crip great about what he does is because he gives you the information. He gets into a game, he finds out the numbers, he finds out the figures, and then he puts it up on his YouTube so that everybody can see. Crip may have gotten famous over certain things, but I think the most of his fame comes from the information he gives. So the fourth one is be a female with big boobs. That's the fourth one. You can just get on. And people will watch you if you're a female.
And proper camera orientation.
And proper camera orientation and attire.
We just got a boo from Lena.
But those are things, is keeping some. You got to decide: am I good enough that people are going to want to watch me for hours, and me not talk to them? Maybe I'm not that good. Maybe I need to interact a little bit, because maybe I need to have that kind of connection with the crowd, because maybe I'm not good enough for people just to come in and watch. Maybe I'm not good enough with numbers and figures, but if I am, maybe I should start my YouTube and start putting up guides. These are the things that you guys need to think about is, once you get over the hump of getting people in, it's being able to retain them and keep them. And in my mind, these seem to be these are the foundations of every streamer. You can find one of these 4 things and what they do. Do you guys have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's perfectly apt. I think everyone kind of has their own categories that they put stuff in. I myself kind of have 3 categories. I go with the interactive streamers, the elite streamers, and by elite I basically just mean like you, the people who are at the top of their game all the time. And then I kind of put I kind of pigeonhole all the rest of the streamers in what I call sideshow streamers. And the reason that I call them that is a lot of these channels have gimmicks, or they do things outside of gaming to attract your audience. So if you ever go into a channel and there's like a big thing going on that has nothing to do with the game they're doing, that's just attracting people, that's a big thing on Twitch. And I kind of put the female streamers, using their assets to their advantage in that category. You're there for something besides the game and the interaction. So, but at the same point, I agree with you totally, Ellohime. I'm kind of a big MMO guy. I've got some world firsts under my belt, but no one, they aren't really things that you'd watch. They're not really things that you would, you'd come to the channel because, oh, this guy's a world first guy. Because, I'm not playing for world first now, so it's not like I'm doing that. But at the same time, like you said, Ello, I really go for interaction. And I get told all the time, hey, we love the interaction here. I love how you say hi to everyone that comes in. I love how you answer all the questions again, go through you. And I think that's a really big point. I think that's very important, especially to starting streamers. You give viewers interaction, and it's literally like you're basically at that point, you're hooking them. That's the hook. Because if you're having a conversation with someone, they're going to feel included. They're going to feel like they're part of what you're doing. And, in my degree, I've just taken that to like this extreme where, now I have this website and the token bot, which Ello is actually getting a version of soon, which is awesome. I really think it really helps increase those ties and bring that stuff together. We've got the website, we've got forums, we've got all these different avenues, the Steam group, that people can interact and become included in what we're doing here. And by making viewers a part of the stream, everybody wins. You get more viewers, you get more subs, the viewers have more fun. Everything gets better the more that you include your viewers.
Except for my PM box.
Very true. I'm actually now up to 2 hours a night. Every single night I have 2 hours of messages to go through, and sometimes that goes up. But frankly, I'm already starting to think of ways that I can kind of get through it.
I can help you with that.
But
I showed this to Adam, and I guarantee I showed it to him like 3 months ago, and he's still not using it. It's probably why he's laughing right now. There's a product I'm going to show you guys. I can't show you on stream. There's a product called Type It In, and I know, and I'm sure both of you guys deal with this a lot. There's a lot of, and I get a lot of I've been using this product for 13 years. There's a lot of messages you get, and they're fairly generic response answers that you can send back to people. You can still be nice with them, but they're still fairly generic response answers. Now, all of you guys, even whether it be Adam or whether it be Co or whoever, any of you guys can use this product. It's a product called Type It In, and you essentially can create a button, and that button will type in whatever you want it to type in. And I've created multiple buttons that answer generic questions.
Hi, user 424. Thank you for saying, those nice words. Ha 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 ha.
What did he say? What did he say?
Thank you for your generic comment of appreciation today.
Yes.
No,
Insert
I totally hear what you're saying.
insert
And
nice
it's
comment.
it's really funny actually, MMO Den, because I'm doing something slightly similar in a much more generic fashion. I actually have a notepad that I have kind of like templates in for a lot
Yeah,
of different responses. And what I'll do is I'll copy the template in, and then I'll go through it and kind of personalize the message a little bit.
right. This
And
does the
but at
exact
the
same
same
thing,
time, at the
just
same
with a
time,
one button click.
and see I'll definitely catch up with you about that after this. But and I don't think that's a big deal at all, because when literally I have a screenshot of it. 2 nights ago I got 3 messages within 10 minutes, and uh-oh, what happened to Tiffin? And every single one of them um, was the same thing.
Yeah.
Each one of them was, hey, I'm interested in starting to stream. Could you promote my channel when you get off?
Yeah.
And then the next one was, hey, I was thinking about starting streaming. Would there be a potential that you could link my stream when you're done? And then the third one was like, hi, I've been streaming for 6 months. I can't find an audience. Could I link my stream when you're finished? And it's like, it's not at all rude. To respond to each of them with a similar thing, because it's the same answer
It's the
for
same
all of them.
answer,
But at the
yeah.
same time, you can still get them a personalized message that
Sure.
kind of
Change a couple words
exactly.
around it. And that's the great thing
Yep.
is you can even set this thing up to where at the end of a message, it'll tab multiple times and end up on the submit button, hit enter and automatically submit and send your message for you. You can take and you can have mouse clicks with it. You can have I even have it to where some of them, like if I'm giving keys away, I have it to where if I go and I grab my notepad and I copy the key and then I go to that message, I hit my button, it'll control V and paste that key in where I want it pasted. And then I just go ahead and send that message. So I don't have to sit there and, put the message together and then put the key in. It'll automatically do it for me. It'll automatically cut or paste it for me.
Well,
So
this is kind of actually another good segue into the last thing for people starting out is software. What would you guys recommend to people using? Because a lot of people ask me if I use XSplit, and I am a huge open broadcast software nut. I do not like XSplit. Are you guys using OBS?
OBS.
100%.
Yeah,
I tried XSplit. I found it very wanting and paying, which is both things I was not looking forward to. I mean, I love OBS. Got the
OBS is
green
free.
screen.
I actually
Love it.
paid for XSplit, and I used it for quite a while, and then all of a sudden it would just no longer stream my mic audio. I mean, and since I paid for it, I mean, I went through customer service, everything, and XSplit literally forced me to start using OBS, and so in the end, I switched over, and I will never go back.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm the same way. I first started streaming a year plus ago when Diablo 3 came out. It's a secret. Nobody knows that. I actually started streaming back then, trying to get things working, and I tried to go through XSplit, and I just gave up. Because the same thing happened to me. I couldn't get one day it was working fine, next day my audio was all screwed up, and I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. And I gave it up for like a year, and then I just happened to download OBS because somebody suggested it, and it is a wonderful program. Another thing, another program you guys might want to look into is the crap. Now I've forgotten the name. Oh, Spotify. Getting Spotify and the what is it, MMO Den, that puts the Spotify onto the chat, the overlay?
It is called Untamed Now Playing, and you can actually use that with Spotify. You can use it with Pandora. You can use it with multiple different audio systems, and it will. I do it. Adam does it. I don't think Co does it, but whatever music you're playing, you can actually put the song. You can choose different variables, but you could choose like the song name. You could choose the artist. You can choose a bunch of different things. And then it's just a text file that it grabs that data from, and then it displays on your screen which song is playing, who it's by, all that stuff. And it helps answer, for me at least, a lot of questions like, and I know you got them too, what's that song, or who's that by, or whatever. It helps answer that right on your screen.
Any other software you guys would suggest to people starting out?
Hex Chat.
What's that?
Hex Chat.
Yeah. You showed that to me, but it's going to be like a month before I get it on.
Text chat for you guys that are even if you're not going to stream, for you guys that watch streams, I highly recommend you get Hex Chat. There's a lot of things you can do in Hex Chat. Essentially, it takes a little bit of setup. It doesn't take long, maybe 10 minutes. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube. Just Google Hex Chat setup with Twitch, and you'll be able to take and set that up. You're able to set a text font, whatever you want. If you are streaming, you're able to put keywords in there to change the color of the text. Like if somebody says, you know, Coalition for Life, or Hey Co, or Hey Carnage, or Hello, or Hi, or whatever, you can, like, I have mine display in yellow. It's similar to what is it, Best Twitch or Better Twitch?
Better Twitch TV.
Better TV,
Better
yep.
Twitch. It's similar to what that does, but you have more options that you can choose from when you're taking and you're putting in those keywords. And you can put anything. Like I put Limpy, MMO Den, Matt, all these different things in there. So anytime somebody says that, I see their text in yellow, and I also have it a larger font size, and it's sitting on my second screen. I can really see that, and it makes it a lot even easier for me to be able to see what people are saying.
Yeah.
Not only I could not agree with that more, but there's also two things I want to mention. One, not only do we use Hex Chat here in the Coalition, we have full tutorials with pictures on exactly how to set it up on multiple different clients. We have a Hex Chat tutorial, a Pigeon tutorial. I actually use Pigeon myself. All this stuff, if you do ! Hex Chat in the Coalition stuff, you can get all that data there. I couldn't agree more with Limpy on that. But also two very important things. Hex Chat is sometimes faster and more reliable. You're going to the source when you go through IRC. And when Twitch is having major issues, like with League of Legends tournaments and things like that, I can't tell you how much better it is for an interactive broadcaster to have something like Hex Chat at your disposal. I mean, it literally, you will see lines of text that never show up in Twitch chat, and you'll see it when they say it. Whenever Twitch is having problems and I'm doing my broadcasting in Hex Chat, all the time I see people go, "Who are you talking to? What do who are you responding to? Like what's going on here?" And I'm serious, and I just go, "Oh, I'm talking to other people. Here, go to this link, get Hex Chat. You'll see who I'm talking to." And it's really fantastic. And with the highlights that Limpy was talking about, I have 29 highlight things. I have hello highlighted. I have hey highlighted. I have hi co highlighted. I have all the stuff that I would want to respond to highlighted. And that way, even if it doesn't have my name in it, and even though if I have my name gets misspelled COHN so often. I swear to God, I made an unintentional optical illusion coming up with this name. So I just made it a highlight. So now every time someone misspells my name, it doesn't even matter to me. I can just go on like normal and answer their question. It's great. And if you're serious about doing this, get an IRC client, whichever one you want, because it's definitely worth it.
Do you have to have multiple monitors for that?
No.
Just like any Twitch. Well, I mean, you have, if you're playing a game, if you have the screen real estate on your actual screen, then you'll be fine. But I mean, I use a 2-monitor setup. I know most streamers that are interactive like us use 2 monitors. Now, I don't know if you do, actually. But yeah, I know for me, I'm like, I have to have 2 monitors for what I do.
Yeah, when I started out, I had my monitor, and then I got my school laptop, and I set it up next to me and used that as kind of a second computer just for chat. And I did that for the longest time until somebody was nice enough to donate a little bit of money for me to get a second monitor. So
there's also let me chime in real quick. There's also, we were asking, do you need 2 monitors? There's a plugin for Hex Chat, so you can use that plugin and be able to capture the screen from that plugin, and then not have to actually have a second monitor to capture that. And another thing we haven't even talked about is, if anybody's seen like my stream, this also allows you to capture that portion, and you can display your Twitch chat directly on your screen, and you can actually take and manipulate it to look almost like the chat that would be in the game as well. So for example, if Co really wanted to, he could take and grab that and have it overlay the chat and screen. One of the reasons that I like doing that is because a lot of times when I'm gaming or whatever, and I'm answering questions that are coming out of chat, well, later on when people maybe go watch the VOD and stuff like that, they're like, I had people message me a lot about that. It's like, I see you answering questions, but I don't know what the question was. So
Yeah.
that's why I started grabbing that
Great
portion
call.
of the chat and displaying it on the screen. So when people go back and watch the VOD, they're like, "Oh, that's what the question was. That's what he's answering. Now I can put two and two together and understand exactly what the hell's going on here."
Yeah, you know, that's something I kind of struggle with, whether or not I want to do that or not, because I don't do that personally. I can see the huge benefit. Sometimes when I watch videos back, especially on my YouTube and stuff, I'm like, man, it would be so nice to see the people's reaction to this or that. And so I'm probably going to set that up, especially for Hearthstone, because there's not much going on the stream, on the screen in several locations. There's dead space. I could probably set it up pretty easily. So I'll probably do that. I know a lot of other streamers do that as well. But anyways, we're going to kind of wrap up now. We've been going for a little bit, 30 minutes or so. Is there anything else that maybe we should have covered, or do you guys think somebody should know starting out that we haven't talked about? Is there anything at all, guys?
The only notes I will mention, first of all, we have been saying hex chat and pigeon. It was pointed out by one of my mods, a very good call, that really any IRC client will be good for that. It is IRC at heart. So that will, that'll get you going pretty much from there. And another question that I just got from some viewers, that something someone wanted to know about, is how do we go about building communities? It's one thing to have a lot of people watching you, but how do you make it so those people are in the channel before you start, are talking in the channel when you leave? Like in the coalition chat room, when I close out, I have people talking in my chat for hours afterwards. I will pop in, for a 1 a.m. midnight snack, and there'll be two people talking about how their day went, and it becomes a central location for a community. And the biggest piece of advice I wanted to give to people in that regard is it all comes down to what Limpy started with. It's all about consistency and scheduling. This type of community, the type that we all have, both me, MMOden, and Ello, does not happen overnight. People come back to these because they know they're going to be there. They know they're going to be active when during the streams. They know that it becomes a point of almost security to people, because they know they've got a place they can go to if they want to talk, if they want to chat, stuff like that. So it's good in that regard to kind of, again, keep your schedule strict. Do your best to get on every time you say you're going to. Like Ello said, try to be on, 6 to 8 hours. Make it so that people can mess up their schedules, but still get online and still have a place to hang out. And if you're serious about doing it, and you keep that interactivity up, and you give people resources to connect and talk to each other, you will develop a community over time. It will happen, but it just takes time, consistency, and work. I've never worked harder. I've never worked harder
right there with the community as well. Over time, you create a community, and the more games that you play, and the more people you get involved with the games you play, and if you play with your viewers, that will create an additional community. And you'll see that when you come into your chat, there'll be 50, all of a sudden there'll be 15 people, there'll be 20 people, there'll be 30 people, there'll be 40, the 50. It just keeps growing and growing, just waiting and hanging out there. And this becomes like this meeting place where people are like, hey, you guys want to jump into a League of Legends match? Hey, you guys want to run a dungeon together real quick? Hey, you guys want to do this? Hey, what are you guys playing right now? It totally becomes a community. And I love the fact that our chats become communities like that.
Oh yeah.
I had to change hats for these guys. They kept asking me if I was a real Bear fan, and only a Bear fan would have this hat.
The only thing I would add to what you guys are saying is for somebody who's starting out streaming, that you should know that you set the tone for everything that happens in your stream. When I talked about earlier that it's like having a town, you are the mayor. And the way you conduct yourself and what you allow to happen in your chat and what you don't allow to happen is going to cultivate a lot of the culture of your stream. And like I said, for example, like you go into somebody like Soda Poppin', very successful streamer, really personable, great personality. He allows things in his chat that I wouldn't necessarily allow, and so he has a different flavor to his chat and the way he runs things over there. His is a little, I mean, he's got thousands of people and all the time, but they go off of him. They feed off of him, and what he allows to happen over there. And the same thing with me. I'm big on like no racism, like no hate speech, stuff like that. If I see racism, I knock it out that quick. And because of that, there's a certain it sets a certain tone. When somebody acts out and they say something racist and I ban them, the other people see that and they act accordingly. And you it's kind of something that you don't really think about, and you shouldn't think about it because, and this goes back to probably what I should have said right off the bat. You got to be yourself and you have to be genuine, and when you're yourself and genuine, that kind of thing will build around you regardless. You don't have to really try for that, but it's something to keep in mind that people are watching you and people are seeing how you conduct yourself and what you allow and what you don't allow in your stream. And it's important that if you don't want something, that you let people know, and you don't just try to adhere to what the viewership wants just because they think it might be cool, or if it bothers you, it'll come across. Trust me. And and that does not bode well for you as a streamer. That is for sure.
I just had somebody ask me to do just a quick recap on all the programs we talked about. So to stream, I think we all are in conclusion or in agreement that using OBS, best program. Find yourself an IRC program, whether it be HexChat, Pigeon, whatever you feel comfortable using. And then from there, utilize the Chrome plugin. It's actually not a program, it's a Chrome plugin, the Untamed Now Playing, if you're going to play music. Any other ones to add there, guys?
One of the big things, I actually had a viewer, one of my mods, Dark Lucian, brought this up. In terms of structure and helping with that, having a Steam group is fantastic. Steam not only allows you to have an extra chat room just in case everything dies on Twitch, which we've used in the past, but also being able to give people that are following your channel instant notifications every time you're going live. My numbers jump every time I do that. And the jump that I get from that is a new streamer's starting community. So being able to utilize a Steam group and really kind of promote that and basically getting the message out there that you're doing the schedule, you're putting the work in, that really helps really kind of kick it into overdrive at the beginning.
Yeah, I definitely agree about the Steam group. And anytime you start your stream, you can just go in there, make a quick event, do it right now and say, starting the stream, and everybody who's on their Steam is going to see it. And I do it every morning. It's part of my multimedia thing. I have Twitter's hooked up to this, and my Facebook's hooked up to this, and every time I hit start stream, I send out a message to everybody. And so everybody gets a message if you're following and all that stuff. Everybody gets a thing that says, hey, Ellohime streaming and all that good stuff. But yes, couldn't agree more with that. You know something we haven't talked about, and it was brought up here in my chat, you're bringing up stuff happening in the chat, is the amount of support and help that we get outside of, it's the people in the background that help us do what we do, the viewership. Do not be very careful about who you choose to have help you, but understand that having people help you is huge in doing this. I don't know where I'd be without, Odir, DJ, there's a handful of people, my mods, all those guys. I appreciate them so much. And having that support and outside help, I know with Roderick helping you out with that bot and everything, that's...
Dude, everything. The whole infrastructure of this entire channel is Roderick. I've got people that are helping me on the forums, Dark Lucian and Mika. I've got a fleet of hugely active mods. I don't know what I would do without them.
Yeah, and so
for sure.
Yeah, you guys realize that if you start streaming, people are going to want to help you, and you should really reach out to those people and connect with them and see what they have to offer if you guys work well together and stuff, because it's rewarding for them. They get to spend some time with you, and you guys get to build a friendship. It's rewarding, and you get some help too from them, and it helps you grow, and then they feel better, and then that's what starts. We were talking just about community. If you want any better example of community, it's when your viewers start helping out and start creating things for you and making designs and all that stuff. That's really where you've done something right, is when those people want to help you and volunteer their time, just to make things better. So yeah, I'm sure you guys agree. I know Co agrees.
Yeah,
oh God,
for sure.
Yes.
It's exactly like you said, and that's goes to mods in the channel when you are streaming. Like you said, mods on your forums. The people that on the back end that create little things for you here and there. no matter what it ends up being, whether it be, little, I know, overlays and stuff like that that you guys have. Um, you can't thank it's a thankless job because you guys, I know you do it to support us, and we can't thank you enough for all of your guys' support that you give to us on those different venues.
100% agree. Thank you guys for everybody who helps. Yeah, and that's there's no way you can say that better.
But to be said, if you're doing that schedule, if you're doing your thing every single day, don't think that you won't attract awesome people too. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're all extremely lucky, and I'd even go, I mean, we're very fortunate to have attracted all the awesome people that help us do what we do. Yeah. But don't think it's impossible for you guys out there to do the same thing. I mean, this is everyone has different skills, and everyone is really good at something. You may just not know what it is yet. But, a lot of times when you're streaming and you're doing this, and some guy, hey, I noticed you didn't have any graphics on there. You mind if I take a shot? And all of a sudden you find someone like Godly VG who has made me countless backgrounds. He did all of my buttons. He's helped out immensely. And, that came from just a casual conversation one day with him going, hey, you want some graphics? And that's all it takes. That's all it takes. So be on the lookout for that kind of stuff, new streamers. Don't hesitate to kind of take a plunge with some people, see what they have to offer you, because frankly, that's how I found all my guys. Roderick started, he just casually asked one day, hey, there are these things that I've seen on other streams called tokens. Mind if I play around with that in your stream? Yeah, sure. And look where that went. So yeah. It's kind of like, just be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. Be on the lookout. Yeah. Caboose too, just amazing. There's so many talented artists that have donated art to this channel. The thing I'm doing right now on my screen was made by Fluxus, who's one of my mods. Just fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Is there anything else you guys would like people to know before we sign off here?
We've covered a really good amount of info. I would have wished I would have seen this when I started. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and I feel like there's some people out there that could benefit, from some of the information here. And as we do more podcasts, weekly podcasts, I think we're going to cover a lot of this stuff again in more detail, I'm sure. So I hope that you guys who are out there watching today and you're enjoying, the podcast, that you guys come back and, view us. I think we're pretty much going to set up on every Sunday. Is this, pretty much what this is our very first one. So
if you guys want to do it next Sunday, I will be doing it international.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I will be in Amsterdam.
Whoa, nice.
Bring me back some brownies. Just kidding, right. JK, I didn't say that.
I'll airmail them as I fly over Florida.
Sounds good. All right, is there anything else you guys wanted to know?
Can I make a small announcement?
Yeah, go for it.
So I am doing a 24-hour live stream starting Tuesday at 9. I actually fly out on Wednesday at 1. So I thought, why not do a 24-hour live stream right before I get on a plane so I can sleep like a baby? So I'm going to do a 24-hour live stream starting Tuesday at 9 a.m., going till Wednesday at 9 a.m. All during the 24-hour live stream, I will be giving away entries. You'll be able to earn entries in basically all different ways. But culminating at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, although you're going to be able to earn multiple entries, culminating 9 a.m. on Wednesday, I will be giving away a Hearthstone beta key.
Nice.
Very nice.
Probably
and I will be giving one away.
Things you could give away right now, honestly.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't even play Hearthstone, and people ask me all the time if I'm giving away beta keys to Hearthstone.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, the people who stuck around and listened to us, babble on and on, I've got actually one that was donated today that I'm going to be giving out here in the chat in just a few minutes. So, and it's going to go to everybody on request.
For anyone new to my channel, that's Ellohime talking right now. There's that multi-twitch again.
I'm only going to require that you guys each donate $100 minimum to be entered. JK, by the way. Just kidding on that one. It's going to go to everybody. It should be a good time. So, anything else, guys?
Dude, that was great. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a good time. Like I said, if you just give me a little bit of heads up if we're going to do this again next Sunday, because if we do, it'll be 1800 my time where I'm going to be. So,
all right. Nice. Well, I am Ellohime again here on Twitch with Co-Carnage and MMOden, and I think we all just want to wish you guys a beautiful, beautiful Sunday and an even better week coming up here. So thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
And as a note, we will probably have this up as a podcast here pretty soon that you guys can download. We'll have links and such later. I'm sure we'll all be highlighting it on our channels as well. So really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, we'll definitely up on my YouTube. So if you guys aren't subscribed, shameless plug.
Do it.
All right. So we good, guys?
We're all good. Y'all have a fantastic day. Thanks for the fun.
Yep, absolutely. You guys have fun streaming.
Good time, you guys. Have a good day. I'm off to watch the games.
Yep.
Have a good
Take
time.
care.
Bye-bye.
Later, guys.
All right. So hopefully you guys at least I couldn't really interact with the chat too much during that because it's a podcast. So I'm sorry for that if you guys came in here. I see that somebody had to throw in the sub. It looked like a lot of people were kind of going crazy when we had the sub off. I want to thank everybody who subscribed, Show Star, everybody who subscribed during that. I tried to say thank you in the chat as best I could. So I appreciate it so much, all your support. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Maybe you learned something. And maybe if you guys are deciding that you guys want to do a little bit of streaming, that you guys will be able to start at least with a little bit of information there and hit the ground running. So that was really the point of the whole thing. Let's see if we can make this a little bigger and then drop it down a bit. Okay, so let's see what we can do about this key. Let's see what we can do about the key. It was great. What'd you guys think? Just a little bit of feedback, and be honest. If it wasn't good, you just let me know. All that good stuff. Freedom! Was an interesting podcast. Cheers. Thanks. Nice podcast. Nice. Very nice. Cool. Wow. Oh, Mangotu. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the welcome to the Vikings. I appreciate it. Very informative. Seems like you guys are pretty positive about reviewing it. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. If you guys have any critiques, feel free to send me a PM and let me know if there's anything. I know that I know there was a little bit of typing in the background and stuff like that, and little heres and theres with the audio. But for the first one, I don't think it was too bad. So, man, and everybody's here. Everybody. Hey guys. All right, so let's go ahead and do this key. You guys have been very patient, and I appreciate your patience. So, let me. And by the way, guys, just so you know, I'm gonna put on slow mode. I hate doing this as well. We're gonna put on slow mode for 30 seconds. I'm gonna give you guys plenty of time to say what you need. But if it's not in slow mode, things get rough really quickly. It'll lag me out. So let's go ahead. And you guys should definitely check out those other guys too. MM Odin and Co Carnage. It was linked a little bit earlier. They're great people, really good guys, good people. So, all right. Let me set this up, guys. Make sure I don't show any Pornhub or anything. That would be bad. I gotta go buy myself a capture card today. Ooh. This is joining chat room. So I'll set this up. I'm gonna have to restart my chat here. Come on, chat. There we go. Guys, no spam just yet, guys. I haven't even said a word yet. Haven't even said a word yet for everybody. So let's just calm down. Calm down, guys.